being positive and being more interactive with people, because communication is the basic thing which we need. A proper communication. We say there are soft skills, there are various ways of speaking, there are various dialects, there are various languages, everything in this world to speak with people, to interact with people. But the most common and the most unchanging language is our body language, our expression, and our kindness. So I'll be talking about that. And before jumping too deep into anything, let me introduce myself properly. So I started my career around in 2014, wherein I started with a job wherein I was not happy with, but I had to take it because of peer pressure. And why I am introducing myself like this is that how I stepped up in my life and how I coped up with issues or problems, maybe peer pressure, maybe with people around me, or maybe with my internal inferiority complex. So I wanted to tell you about that. So just trying to um, make a base with my introduction like this. So I started by being a tech support agent in Tech Mahindra for around 6 months. That was one job wherein I have been asked or being questioned a lot of time. When will you go and join? And when will you work? When will you get into a job? When will you start earning for the family and like that? So basically, after a lot of thinking and a lot of pressure, I joined Tech Mahindra. I couldn't cope up with that after 6 months because night shifts was not made for me. Then I jumped to Cognizant, wherein I went into mainstream IT, and I was with Cognizant for around 5 years as a quality analyst. So from a tech support agent, I jumped to software testing, and there, since my major part of career has been with Cognizant, my experience in Cognizant defines what I am today, or how I think, how I handle people. Maybe not just the company, what it gave me, the corporate culture they have. I'll say rather my interaction with various people at various levels. Not just my colleagues, my juniors, my seniors, my directors, my various projects which I worked with. So post Cognizant, which had a very major impact on me, I have switched to a new role now. So I am now a business analyst with DXC Technologies since 3 months, and I would say my work pattern, my way of working, my way of understanding people has changed a lot throughout these years. So basically, I'll start with what I understand as basic pillars of being positive, being happy, being cheerful, and being interactive with people. So first pillar is always communication. How you communicate with people, how you understand people. Let me not take it like a theoretical way, in a theoretical way. Rather, let me go with my experience. Okay. So when I talk about communication, it is always about how you talk to your juniors and how you behave with your managers. And until college, maybe until my first job, I always felt like seniors are sir and ma'ams, and juniors are always like your friends, and maybe you are sir to them. That's how we have been always taught about. But when I jumped into a corporate world, and when I started to understand how things are, I rather felt like there is no sir, there is no ma'am, there is always a first name and a last name. Either you call them by their first name. I may say, "Hi Raju, how are you?" Or I can say, "Hi Mr. Swain, how are you?" So that's how I used to address people, and I understood that age doesn't matter, seniority doesn't matter. But on a corporate ground, we are all equal because we are in a team. And maybe we are bifurcated by our designations, by our roles, by our seniorities, by our level of experience. But when we sit together to talk about something, to discuss about something, to work upon some project or maybe something, we are always calling people with their names. So gave that had a lot of impact on me. Okay, so
Akshay, are you there? Hello.
yes, yes, Raju, I am there.
Okay, I think there's a technical issue.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah. So let me reiterate my last few words. Okay, so I was talking about calling people sir and ma'am. So that when I entered the corporate world, that changed me a lot. I mean, I see a person who's really senior to me, like 10 years, or maybe he has a 20 years of service with the company. He comes to me and he says, "Hi, Akshay." I'm not supposed to say hi, sir, hi, ma'am. I have to say, "Hey, hi, Rajan, how are you? Hey, hi, Ravi, how are you? Hi, Sushma, how are you?" So that gives you a feeling of being there, a feeling of your value, that you are not supposed to feel inferior in the company, in the team. So that helps you a lot. Okay, as of right in your corporate field, wherever you work, in wherever in whatever teams you work, I would say if you have this culture wherein you are not treating people as sirs and ma'ams, rather you have your people around with you, calling them with names and treating them like friends. I would.
Hello, Akshay.
Yes, Raju, I'm not sure what technical issue is this. I'm getting muted again and again. So I have unmuted myself. Not sure why this happening. This is happening. Okay, so now moving forward, I worked around with various models of testing. Since I was in software testing, I've worked with waterfall model, and I have been working with agile model since around like 3 years now. So the way the working model is of your team, I have felt that how people interact with you, how you can respond to them, that everything changes. Like in a waterfall model, it's something like we have a 3 month long release. For 3 months we will work along with the same team, and the same developers, the same testers, the same technicians are around you for 3 months to deliver a project. So in that time frame, you become really good friends with people, and you become really comfortable by the end of the project release. And by the end of the project release, if someone is leaving or the team gets reshuffled, you feel bad, you feel demotivated maybe. Like I was really good friend with that so and so person, and he or she is not there with me now. Now I'm working in agile, and I feel that every 2 weeks we have a release, and every month, sorry, the team gets reshuffled. So you doesn't you will not get much time to interact or get close to people. Rather, you will be really busy with on working on the project or the deliverables. So that changes again. That changes your interaction pattern. So I feel being positive starts with communication. And on when I talk about communication, being assertive has always been the top-notch point people go for. You have to be assertive. You cannot be aggressive with people, stating that my needs are important. What I say, my points are correct. No. See, there is a very thin line between being assertive and being assertively aggressive. I'll call it like that. I would like to share one. One second, I'd like to share one picture, one image with you guys. Let me do that. And please let me know if you guys can see my screen. Okay. Raju, is my screen visible in general?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Is
I
it?
mean,
You
if you,
can. Yeah.
yes, we can. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, you can see the image, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank God. Generally, it's a problem with Skype. It's kicking me out again and again, so I was not sure about it. Okay, so being aggressive, being assertive, and being passive, these are the three phases in everyone's life. Any situation, any communication, any interaction with anyone, these are the three behaviors we have always, right? If I'm speaking with Raju about some of the I mean life events, or if I'm speaking with my team about working on the items which we are working, I may agree upon something and my colleague may agree upon something. So what I agree upon is my need, it's my requirement, and what the other person agrees or feel about, or what their opinion is, that will be their need. So if I give importance to someone else's needs, and if I submit myself stating that yes, you are correct, I might be wrong but you are correct, that means you're being passive. You're simply accepting what is being thrown at you. So that is one nature, or that is one sort of interaction wherein it will create an inferiority complex in you. You'll feel bad, you'll feel like, why am I accepting people just as they are? Why am I not trying to put across my opinion? At some point of time you'll feel bad about it. So that is something which will not help you in today's world, wherein we have competition which is very uneven competition. Now, talking about being aggressive, uh, I would request, if someone is not on mute. Okay, yeah, I've done that. So today we cannot sit down with people and say that what I say is always correct. That will be being aggressive. We have certain group of people always, we call them bullies in our college or in maybe in our school. They always sit down and they say that my opinion is what it is. Okay, the difference between my opinion and your opinion is my opinion. That's what they say. So that's being aggressive, that's being I will say patronizing someone, saying that I am correct, you are wrong. So that's not the way deals will go today. Then there is a third set of people who will say, let's take your point into consideration, let's take my point into consideration, and we are all good. Win-win situation. It's always a win-win situation, and those kind of people are called being assertive people. And I would say being assertive will not help you alone. Always trying to find out a way wherein both the parties win, no, it's not called smart work, it's not being smart. What I believe in, what I have felt through my experience all these years is, there is a line between being aggressive and being assertive. You can see this dark line. The right side, on the right side between being passive and being assertive, this line is a bit slightly faded. The darker one, the line on the left side between being aggressive and being assertive, is where I believe our leaders, our achievers are standing. You have to be assertive, but you have to make sure that your opinion is being valued. That's where you make the change. See, we always talk about, a change doesn't start by changing others, it starts by changing ourselves and all this blah blah. We always say about that. So your change starts here on this line. You are being assertive, you are valuing people's thoughts, but you are telling that your idea is also valuable. Now I'll tell you with a very simple sentence. I'll try to just differentiate these three things, because I've always said that communication is something really important for being accepted in the society, and which will help you being positive and being cheerful or motivated to work whatsoever. So when I say I'm aggressive, I'll say I am correct, you are wrong. When I say I'm passive, I'll say you are right and I'm wrong. When I say, when I'm being assertive, I'll say, I think that we both are right. I think your point is correct, and my point is also correct. So that leads to a lot of biasing, that leads to a lot of ambiguity, and that causes confusion. So when I say that I'm on this dark line between being aggressive and being assertive, I say your point is correct. However, my point has more weight. So that's where I'm trying to be aggressive, but very assertively. It's just play of words if we talk about it, but if we really apply it in our daily behavior, it's very beautiful. I mean, the way you can in a very layman language, you can manipulate people. You have to be really compliant with what you have to work with, how you have to interact with people. You cannot manipulate someone, or you cannot go and instigate someone to do something wrong. No, not at all. I'm not talking about that. I'm totally telling you about your opinion being correct, and you try to get everybody in your favor. So that's that dark line which works out for you. And there are other models or other understanding of being assertive or being passive, I would say. There is this one diagram which I wanted to show you guys, wherein various degrees of assertiveness, passiveness, and aggressiveness is given here. So by seeing this diagram only, you will understand how interaction is all can help you. All right. So communication is a very major part, how you approach people and how you talk. And yeah, I think I have a question. Let me check that. 1 second. Okay. Okay, that is from Kushal. Okay, can you please give me an example of a situation where being assertive help you? Yeah, absolutely. So I'll tell you, Kushal, a very recent example, right? So now I have been working with my new team since 3 months now, and I have switched to a role wherein I have people working under me. I have people working, reporting to me. So this is a very challenging role for me right now, and wherein in this role I have to motivate people, and I have to make sure that my team is compliant enough and finishes their work in the right manner. So in my team I have various elements. By various elements I mean by various opinions, various people, various smart brains I have in my team. So someone in my team last night when I was working, see, I was working on a weekend, that's a very bad thing though. So yeah, last night when I was working with my team says that come on, Akshay. There is some issue with the VPN. Why don't we share a single VPN amongst three people? That's the most lame, or maybe I would say the most uncompliant request I would have ever heard, because I've never done that, and I have always discouraged such kind of an activity in my company or anywhere, any team I work with. So one of my colleague Sudha says that Akshay, why can't we have a VPN, and we can simply get it across, distribute it among the team, among three people, and we can use it nicely, and we can complete our work whenever we want. Whenever we want, we can join and we can close our work. So I really welcome thoughts which are compliant, which are non-compliant thoughts. I would like to stop. So my see, me and Sudha and my other team members, without knowing that I will be their team lead or maybe manager, they were totally unaware of that. We had our product testing all together, and we're really good friends. So trying to get my opinion into their heads, it was a challenging task for me. There are various situations wherein they ask me something, and I have to tell them in such a manner that our friendship doesn't get affected, and we are always working for each other. So me being assertive, I was telling, yeah, you have a very good thought. Having a VPN which can be shared among people is always perfect. But, however, it is not compliant. The company may not allow a same VPN being worked upon by three people altogether. So that's how I told them what should be done, what not to be done. And getting a VPN is again a billing issue and all that stuff. It is a logistical issue. So what I thought, rather than sharing the single ID password among all those three people, for two people I requested for VPN so that those two people will at least have access. So me and my three people, we four will consist of our 100% team. So if at least 75% of the team or 50% of the team has the VPN access, remaining 50 can take rest. So in that sense, the person who asked me for multiple VPN access, she got an access, the other one got an access. Me or and my another colleague, the fourth person, don't have any access to VPN. So they were happy, they got an access, but again, at the same time, multiple sharing of the same VPN was not done. So I was being assertive in such a situation that I welcome their thought, but I have educated them that this is wrong according to company norms. That cannot be done. So Kushal, I know my answer was a bit long, but was I able to answer or justify your question? Oh, great. Thank you, Kushal. So I was talking about various degrees of assertiveness or being passive. Um, that's seeing this diagram. I won't explain this much, but again, if you are the degree of being assertive, if you are being assertive on a scale of 1 to 4, if you are on 1, then you are giving simply information. You know what happened, the lockdown has been extended, you know what PM Modi said on the news yesterday. That's what you are giving information. But if you are on degree 3, you will say, see, PM Modi, what he said was right. He said lockdown should be extended and I support that and we all should support it. So that's how I'm persuading people. Again, going to being aggressive, it acts differently. Being assertive, I'm welcoming their thoughts also. I'm telling, what do you think about what PM Modi said? I will ask. But if I'm aggressive, I won't ask that question. I'll simply say my thoughts and I'll push my thoughts onto them. Being passive is obviously accepting. I'll simply say, okay, whatever you are telling is correct, my friend. So I'll accept that. And being responsive, yeah, this is the fourth element here. Being responsive is something like when you ask questions, when you try to take others thoughts, take your thoughts and mix them up and come to a proper conclusion. So being responsive is what that dark line is actually, right? So this was all about how you should approach for a communication, and there is a very basic difference between giving a speech or speaking and communication. Speaking is something, it's like a ray of light. It starts at a point but it never ends. It's simply like I'm speaking and no one answers or anything, no one questions me anything. But communication is something, it's a line segment. It has a start point, it has an end point. It has a source, it has a target. So if I'm speaking here, if I'm telling you something, giving you some information, then you will be asking me questions, or you will be acknowledging what I say. So that's what communication is. So that's really important for being motivated in a corporate world. uh, while I was working with projects, I have been into two business lines. One was insurance and one was US healthcare. So in my team I have seen various elements. There is always in a team, it is always like a classroom, like in your school you might have seen. There is a bunch of people who are always gossiping, concentrating less on work. There will be a second bunch of people who are always working, never interacting with anyone. There is a third bunch of people who are working hard, and they are working hard but they are not able to interact with people. Then there is a fourth class of people who are always doing smart work and they are interacting with people, they are taking part in gossips, they are talking, they are interacting, they are enjoying their life. So it is always important to be in that fourth batch of people wherein you can be really smart in working. And being smart in working, I cannot go ahead and tell you on a general note, because what you work on, what problems you might have, after getting to know that, I can give you something like, okay, if you work like this will be called smart work for you. For me, if I'm into testing, I would say if I can work on four requirements all together by doing just one flow, or by sitting for 1 hour together, if I can complete four items, yes, it's smart work for me rather than sitting for 8 hours and doing just two tasks. So that's how I will, gauge smart work. So in office, in general, on the road, if you talk to people, communication was the first point. Then I would say smart work was the second point. You have to be smart enough to interact with people and to share your thoughts and get information from people. And the third most important point, which should be actually first but it is third, is gauging yourself. We always fail to gauge ourselves according to the audience. We always gauge ourselves with the same scale. We say, I cannot speak to this guy. This guy is very senior to me. No, he might scold me. He might say you are telling wrong, or he might disagree with me. The same fear applies for juniors. I'll say, no, I cannot go to this junior and speak something. He might question me. If he questions me, if I am not able to answer, what will be my fate? That's wrong. You cannot gauge your dam. I'll say dam, your patience, your knowledge is a dam. You cannot gauge your dam with a small 30 centimeter scale. No, you cannot do that. You are doing that in this today's world with uneven competition. Why I'm telling uneven? The person who's studying outside, who is gaining a lot of knowledge, is facing issues, is giving a lot of interviews to get into one job, and the person who doesn't know much, just because of one referral, or maybe just he or she gets lucky, is getting a job. And you will feel, why I was studying all these years? I would have simply behaved like him or her, and I would have gotten a best job what he or she has. So that's what uneven concept is. Okay, so I have a question here before me telling about gauging yourself. Which one is more important at workplace or family? Assertiveness or cooperativeness? Okay, that's a very, very good question. See, being assertive and being cooperative is nothing but being cooperative is you being a little bit more passive. See, when I say assertive on that dark line, that is being more of responsive, right? Wherein you are giving more, you are making sure that your thought is being given more importance, but in the same way you are making the opposite party feel that their thought has also been given importance there. But at the end of that discussion, your thought is being given the concluding point. When he says, when Raju is asking me about being cooperative is basically a form of assertiveness, wherein it's a win-win situation both ways. You will say, okay, fine. So we have 4 items to work on. Okay, so you work on 2 items, I'll work on 2 items. We'll coordinate together. We will cooperate with each other, and all the 4 tasks will be done by the end of the day. And at the end of the day, the whole credit is divided amongst both the parties. That's not always good competition, I would say. See, healthy competition is always about cooperating with people, but in today's situation, healthy competition is nowhere. So we have to act smart, we have to act agile, we have to act a little bit aggressive in our approach. So to Raju, I would answer, being assertive is more important, given the point that you are being a slightly aggressive, as I was talking about the dark line. So I'll stick to that point, Raju. Did that
Okay.
answer you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we gauge ourselves very wrongly. When I started my job hunt after spending around 4 years in Cognizant, 4 years and 3 months, I felt really demotivated to work in my team, because I saw partiality amongst people, wherein uh, people whom I've seen not staying long enough to complete the work, who are not even present at their desks, who are not working properly, who are taking a lot of leaves, are getting accolades. They are getting all these R&Rs, rewards and recognitions, and they have been elated always. They have been always told, you are a good chap, you are working fine. But when it comes to me, or I'll gauge myself, right? I'll see, when it comes to me, I'm sitting for a longer period. I'm giving a mile extra every time, and I'm not achieving what I want. I'm not getting any tap on the back. I'm not getting any shoulder tap. No one is coming to me and telling, that's a really good piece of work you have done. I'm really proud of you. You have done a good job. No one says. So that demotivated me. So what I did, I thought of switching, because I have worked with 9 projects now in all these 4 years, 3 months, and I feel that at the end of the day, everything is the same. So I should be changing my environment. So when I started giving interviews, you guys won't believe I have around, I've given around. How much I would say, 31 or 32, around 30 odd interviews I have given in order to get selected for 6 companies wherein they said we'll come back to you with our salary discussion. And amongst those 6 companies, 2 companies really came back to me. So market is like that. They are taking bunch of people, a huge bunch of people, bulk people, and they are screening them. But at the end of the day, they are hardly picking some few people. Maybe people say that it's already pre-decided that referrals have already pushed into pipeline and they will only take 10 people. But in order to show in the market to be compliant, they are interviewing 20 people, but they are taking only those 10 people. People say like that. See, there is a very short, slight difference between your success and excuses. Okay, if you feel that things are biased, you'll always feel that things are biased. Even on the road, if you walk silently and if you see someone laughing, you'll say, why he is laughing? He's laughing on me. So that's how people are now gauging themselves. This world is full of memes, I would say. On Instagram, on social media, the world is full of memes. People are finding a simple concept, a single simple word, a simple incident to make fun of, because we are treating our brains with those memes. We are feeling that my life is not complete if I'm not giving that part of fun. Okay, I'll not be accepted in this society if I don't talk about a specific meme. If I sit down with 10 people, if I say, hey, did you see that video? It was really funny. And if I don't have any answer to that, I'll not be accepted in that group. So that is peer pressure, what we are facing in today's world. We are not talking about quality self-assessment. We are talking about, we are assessing ourselves on the basis of social media, and social media is no standard scale to gauge yourself or feel about yourself. Social media is just a window. The picture outside the window always changes with season, right? And history repeats itself. Why? Because rainy season will again return tomorrow, next year. So that's what is happening with social media. At some point, they'll find something funny. After a few years, again, that thing will be in trend again. It's the same with the remix songs, what they are doing nowadays. So, not to deviate from the thought process totally, we are gauging ourselves on wrong scales, on wrong platforms. How we should gauge ourselves, I'll tell you. We should gauge ourselves on not the number of friends I have. We should gauge ourselves how many valuable friends I have. If I have a group, let's say WhatsApp group. In this group, if I ping something, if I drop a message, how many people will really reply? And if how many people will really reply with valuable points? How many people will really come to my rescue if I'm in some problem? That's where it is more important. A family is always first. Family is always there for you. That's no doubt. But a person feels really motivated if he or she steps out and he or she has a group of people, he has a bunch of people who are ready to pamper them, ready to, elevate them, ready to always make them happy. That's what nowadays actual motivation is. See, if I have something, if I have a phone, see, I'll always crave for iPhone. I want iPhone with me. I really want iPhone 11 Pro with all these features and all that. Once I buy that iPhone, after using it for 1 or 2 months, I'll feel that, oh, come on, iPhone is now normal for me. I've been using it since months now. It's nothing big deal. I used to think, I don't know why I used to think it's a big deal. That's what we are behaving with our families. So I'll say the best motivation you'll always find sitting with your dad, sitting with your mom, talking about in their uh, generation, when they were in their time, when they were in our age, what exactly technology situation was and how they coped up with that. That will motivate you. Now, if your Wi-Fi goes off, you will get irritated, you will get agitated, you will go to your router and you will just drop all your heat on that. Why this router is not working? Why do I have a power cut? Why I'm not getting the proper signal? Think about your parents. They never had internet in the back in their time. How they productively, sat down and how they were really happy. So the main source of motivation, I would really say, it's family. And when you step out of your house, the motivation which you need is of belongingness. It's not about oh, I have an expensive car, so if I go around on the roads, people will come down to me and ask, oh, why, oh my god, you have a good car, or you are very rich, you have a very expensive car, or like that. That's not motivation. That's all social media, which is creating all these black holes in our brains, which are, sucking all our smart cells, I would say. So, communication, being working smart, gauging yourself right. These three are the things which we have spoken about right now. And there is fourth one, which people generally have different opinions. But again, I would say it also is important. It's called relationships. It's not about family right now. I'm talking about relationships in general outside your family. Your relationship with your father, your relationship with your mother is different than what your relationship you will have with your wife, with your husband, maybe with your girlfriend or boyfriend, or maybe with your best friend. So that really changes your nature and your perception of how you see things. See, I believe I'm not boring you guys because I don't see anyone speaking since I'm speaking. So you guys are okay with what I'm saying? Any doubts or anything you would like to shoot me questions? Anything?
I think we have a question.
Okay.
Kushal.
Kushal seems to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he has a question. Any questions? I'm
Kushal, do you
okay
have a
with.
question?
I think he's typing. Let's wait. See, these are the things. No, no one talks. We think that these things. Who will talk, man? I mean, who will sit down and talk about how to be positive? It's so lame. But that's what we are in a situation where we need this. So let Kushal drop a question. Let's see if I can answer. So with the fourth topic or maybe the agenda point, I'll close my speech. So let me welcome some questions at this point. Okay. Okay, you talk about being consistent. Okay, so Kushal has a question. He says, he thinks that being consistent and being assertive helps more than being aggressive. Okay. See,
Correct.
yeah. He's telling being consistent. See, being consistent is about your. Okay, I'll give you a very simple example, Kushal. Anything else you are typing? Anything else? Any question from you, Kushal? Or that's it?
Kushal, you can probably use the mic, so that would save you time.
No problem with that. Yeah, Kushal.
Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, Kushal, I can hear you, Kushal.
Yes. So my question was, do we like behave assertive like always, or do we have to be aggressive sometimes? Like, or do we have to be consistently assertive?
Okay.
It
So
is. It
I
depends on the situation.
correct. Your response to the situation, your response to the stimuli, to be really being technical, is always very important. So when I say you are being assertive with a little hint of being aggressive, will make you stand different, make you stand apart from the crowd. Okay, if
Okay.
you are being aggressive, you will be in a certain group of people. It will be like, okay, he's aggressive, he's always angry, okay, he's like that, he's an angry man. If you are being passive, oh come on man, sharing the opinion with him is useless, he'll always anyways he'll accept, they'll take you for granted. If you are being passive, if you are being assertive, they'll be like, Are, he's very diplomatic, he cannot even agree on anything, he always says everything is right. People will feel like that about you. So I'll tell you in simple words, if you are not distinct, you are extinct. It's just a play of words, but again, if you think about it, it's like that. You are talking about being consistent. If you're talking about being consistent, your consistency can be in anything. Your consistency can be with your nature. Your consistency can be a repetitive chore or a repetitive task which you do. Your consistency can be your diligence towards your task, your acceptance of something, right? So when you say, Kushal, you are being consistent, what exactly do you mean by being consistent? You say how religiously you follow something. Does that what you mean?
No, I meant by being consistently assertive.
Kushal,
Oh,
if you can, take a real life example from your life, so that would,
correct.
help
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, because being consistent can be, taken into different meanings. For me, being consistent can be like, okay, how motivated today I am to start my work, and what I am going to do today is what I did yesterday and what I am going to do tomorrow. So how consistent I am in giving the same amount of quality in my work every day. So that's the consistent meaning which I get. So give me a situation wherein you were not, maybe you couldn't get some successful outcome. Maybe you would thought that you could have acted differently, right?
Yeah, okay, let me give you a recent example.
Sure.
There were we had to do group assignments in my MBA course. So
Mm-hmm.
I realized that some people were aggressive and some people were assertive and some were just passive. So in some situations, being aggressive helped, and in some situations, being assertive helped. And being consistent, I mean by there were like if there are more than one group assignments, like you know that you have to work with that group again and again. Then
Correct.
being assertive more rather than being aggressive all the time, it maybe that can help me like get more marks in that subject, like doing
Okay.
that assignment, doing that group assignment, being assertive the second time also helped me a lot.
Okay. So, if I have understood that correctly, you mean to say that there are some situations wherein you have to make sure that the team has to work according to what you think about it, because that will fetch you more marks. And there have been some situations wherein you have to sit down and simply accept what they are trying to say, accommodate their ideas, and you have to sit back and relax while they work on that. Is that so?
uh, yeah, sort of.
Okay. Okay. So I'll let you know. So if you want to be the team leader, let me take in that sense. If you want to have an impact on the team, you have to show to the team. See, it will be like a cheat. It will be like a cheat code. For games we have cheat codes, right? It will be like that. So if you want to be someone who stands out from the team, who is always a bit different from the team, um, you can have your assertiveness a little bit added with a little bit of aggressiveness. Okay, so when you are telling me that in some situations being aggressive helped and being in some situations being assertive helped, in both the situations you tell me, were you ever passive? Were you ever have you ever, Kushal, accepted the things they are simply like that?
No, no.
No, right?
Being passive never helped.
Correct. Being passive will never help. You will always have a responsive nature that no, I want to know more about it before I accept it. Correct, Kushal?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you say I'm being assertive, you say that okay, both the parties should win. But in that sense, you always, some way subconsciously, you will always have that competitive feeling amongst your group, stating that yes, we five are working in this team, but I really want to get this done with. I really want more marks in this team. Even though you will have your best friend in the team, you will always have that thought subconsciously in your brain that I need more marks. So
How
that
do you
thought,
manage your relationship with your friend that time? Like,
correct. That relationship with your friend, somewhere in, you see, I'm not instigating your brain or instigating your mind to say that, nah, friends are not friends. Everybody is competition. No, that's wrong. See, if you're in your dad's generation, if your dad has scored 82%, and today if you score 96%, he is not your competition. He'll always feel okay. Now I started with zero, I came to 10. So my son has started from 10 and he's going to 100. So that no one is competition for us as such. But in our brain, we always see that something for every item available in the market, for every product available in the market, there is something better. We have been subconsciously trained like that since we are born, right? So
Yeah.
even for a small kid, people will say, okay, your kid is more beautiful, he has beautiful eyes, okay, their kid is not having a proper nose. So likewise, we have been always judged. In the moment we started speaking and understanding, hearing things, and we actually, started remembering things. We have been into an environment where there is some competition, some or the other competition. If we are not accepting things as competition, we are having best friends, we are having all our friends together, we are always being passive. We think that okay, my friend says now, when he says, I'll do. I'll not do it when you say it. But in the team, when you are talking about being assertive helped you, or being a bit aggressive helped you, if you talk about the all in all result, Kushal, if you talk about the result, what you got after you worked on that project, don't you think you're being assertive and you're being aggressive altogether was actually on the dark line? There were some situations where you were a bit aggressive and a bit assertive, right?
Uh,
Don't you
yes.
think? See,
Yes.
that line I'm talking about is not just about an outcome of a small situation or a small interaction. It is on a whole. If you see, you were assertive with the team, you made them understand that you are one accommodating person who will accommodate their ideas, who will give respect to their ideas. But at the end of the day, you were aggressive and you made sure that your opinion was given more value. So on the whole, you were on that dark line, right? You worked smart. Correct,
Yes.
Kushal?
Yes.
So you are not wrong. In this case, what you told me here, see, consistency, what you are telling is consistently being aggressive, constantly, basically, I'll change that word if you don't mind. Not
Yes.
being consistent, I'll say constantly, repetitively being aggressive, repetitively being assertive will destroy things. Okay, I cannot. Our soldiers cannot stand on the border and be passive. Oh, come on, come in, let's have party. They can't say it like that. It's a very lame example, maybe, but I'm telling you. See, that's how we behave. So, on a whole, I would say the dark line which I was talking, the thin line which I was talking about, you behaved in that sense. So we all, all of us who want to stand different, stand outside of the team, stand outside of the box, and want to get recognized, we somehow find our own way. See, in our own way, in my own way, I'll be assertive. In your own way, Kushal, you will be assertive. See, in your words, being assertive might be okay. Fine. We have to talk about. Let me take a small example. Okay, we have to talk about cost analysis. Fine. Let us talk about exceptional cases. Like for cost analysis, if the cost is increased, supply demand will drop. But there is one product in market which is called as salt. Even though the price is increasing, its demand will never go off. It's an exceptional. Let us make our project about exceptional products in market. That will be a huge success. However, if we take generic models about generic monopoly of products like Maggie, so from a small 2-year kid to a 100-year-old lady, when they talk about noodles, they'll always imagine Maggie in their mind. So that's how Maggie has done monopoly in the market. Let's talk about monopoly. Someone will say. So what you will do, you will, being assertive, what you will do, you will say your idea about monopoly of products is good, my idea of exceptional products is good. Let us make a project, let us do our group task about exceptional products which are still playing as a which are still doing monopoly in the market. You have combined both. It's a win-win situation. So that is how you are being assertive. Okay, for being aggressive, what you will do, you will try to patronize people. You'll say, come on man, monopoly is a very common topic, let us talk more about exceptional items, let us talk about more exceptional products in the market that will highlight us. So you are trying to persuade people, but that actually falls under being aggressive. So that's how you might have you can take it. When it comes to me, and if I have been given responsibility, I might act differently, Kushal. So your sentence is completely correct. Constantly being assertive is wrong. Constantly being aggressive is wrong. But if you see, without being passive, you will always be recognized from the crowd. Just one passiveness, if you take out, you know, you will be always happy.
Yes,
What
sir.
do
So
you,
there was one situation where I was passive in the beginning because
correct?
I knew the group can't work without me. So they like in the end they had to depend on me, and like I solved their problem, and like they credited me for it. So it was a like a win-win situation, being passive in the beginning and then being assertive in the end. Like, or
Yeah, 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 good to know that. You know, Kushal, in life there is no situation where being passive will help you. See, there is something. I'll tell you a very sad example. Don't mind. If suppose my grandmother passed away, like around 20 years back, I would say. I was a kid while she passed away. So that is something I cannot stop.
yes,
That is one situation which I have to accept. I have to be passive about it. Come on, I cannot stop someone from dying or leaving me, right? I have to accept that fact. So in this situation, I'm passive. But now when she is gone, how can I see as a kid what I'll think? How can I change my life, impact people, or I can change myself in such a way that she'll be proud of me seeing me from above.
yes,
That's your take on being assertive or being aggressive. You are being aggressive doesn't mean you are always putting your thoughts on someone else. In some subconscious situations, you're forcing yourself. You're putting your thoughts on yourself. You have a subconscious, right? Before doing anything, Kushal, you will think, come on, I should not be doing this. This will have some results which will not be favorable. But you will say, come on, why what I am afraid of? Let's try this. This will be a new experience. Let me try this. Let me say this in this way, right? You might have tried, right, Kushal, somewhere.
yes.
So in that situation, if someone, a sad example, but if someone is leaving me, I cannot stop. I have to accept it. But I'll aggress myself. I'll put something on myself, some thought process. I'll impose on myself, stating that no, I'll make sure that I'll change myself in such a way that she'll be proud of me. Her soul will rest in peace. There are some situations like that you cannot avoid.
Yes, I
So, so was I able to answer? Because I have spoken a lot, but I was just trying to go with experience.
yes, I got that.
Yeah. So for 5 years, I have I've been working under someone, and I've been working under someone or the other person, and everybody was different. People in corporate, they talk all sort of gossips. They always talk about the gender of the person, the gender of the manager will change how they take upon things. Maybe what culture they belong to will take upon things. I'll say all this is silly. Your response to that person will change everything. How you take them as your manager, how well you are accepting someone as your team lead or manager, that will affect. Is someone speaking? Any, any question?
Hello.
Yeah, Raju, I'm not able to hear. Is someone speaking or
I-
someone I have to mute?
I'm not sure who that person is.
Okay. I think Nag Shiva joined, but I'm not sure. If someone is speaking, they can, if their voice is not clear, they can type in the chat box. Okay. If there is no question there, please kindly be on mute because there is a lot of noise, if you don't mind. So, Kushal, if I was able to answer you and you are happy with the answer, I'll move on to the fourth item, which I would be love to, talking about.
Yes, sir. You can please carry on.
Yeah, thank you, Kushal. So the fourth thing was I was talking about was relationships, and relationship with people around you, not just the relationship with your family. The love for your family, the motivation they give will be an unending process. Yes, there are exceptional cases everywhere. See, if we are always talking about exceptional cases and why they are important in the society, there is no point in sitting here and talking about the positive things. So rather, I'll leave those exceptional cases aside for the time being. And I'll take an ideal situation wherein your family is really motivated. Whatever issues you have, you feel down, you will have a favorite parent. Either you will be close to your mom or you will be close to your dad. You'll sit with them, you'll talk to them, you'll say, I'm facing this situation. What should I do? What would you have done if you would have been in this situation? So, talking about relationships, the most impactful relationships you will have will be with your friends and with your spouse, and or maybe with your girlfriend or boyfriend outside your family. Because with family you have a certain protocol. Okay, these are the things I have to speak with my mom, these are the things I have to speak with my dad, these are the things I have to speak with my brother or sister. But with friends you don't have any you don't have any protocol, right? You can just sit with them and speak about anything, anytime. The true friends will always pick up your call at any point in time. You call them at 3 a.m. in the morning, they'll simply pick up your call and they'll say, yeah, what's up? Tell me, what happened? And they'll comfort you, and then you'll find a peaceful sleep. So that's what. So your relationship with people is really important. In a relationship, how healthy is that relationship, and how healthy you the two parties are interacting and sharing information, and how positive they are. See, our parents, if you go to them and if you ask about, I have so and so friend, I have these bunch of friends, they'll always tell you. And that sounds like a scam, but it's really true, I'll tell you, it has helped me a lot. uh, Being in school, my parents always used to tell me, be friends with the toppers of the class, they will help you always. But I'll tell you, the most fun you will always have with the backbenchers, right? So for fun, I'll be mingling with the backbenchers. I'll be doing a lot of creating a lot of havoc in the class. But when it comes to studies or something, I'll go to one of the first benches, and I'll sit with them, and I'll get some few things clarified with them. So in my life, I have chosen choosing friend intentionally. It looks like a scam. Come on, man, I cannot choose my friends. Friends, friendship and love, these two things happen just like that. Okay, you may sit down with some random person on the railway station platform. You will be sitting waiting for a train. Suddenly someone sits beside you and starts sharing with you something. You click, oh wow, his or her thought process is same like me. You become friends, you exchange numbers, you start talking. Social media acts like that. Without knowing each other, without meeting each other, without feeling each other's presence, people are becoming best friends. That's the magic of social media. That's a very pro, I would say, it's a positive point of social media. On Facebook, you might have heard about a lot of stories wherein people are marrying each other. They were Facebook friends. They have in never in life they have had a close encounter with each other, like maybe they were classmates in the school or something. No, nothing, they met on Facebook just randomly. So how healthy is your relationship, how well you are able to share your thoughts, and how or what best answers or feedback you get from people is really important. And choosing such people looks like a scam, but it's really important. Choosing your friends, simply randomly sitting with people and getting clicked, oh wow, this person speaks well, this person is good, or let me be friends. You don't know in what pit they will crash. So I would suggest to find a way, find a a solution to it, to friendship. It should be like you should have a bunch of people whom you can always go and hang out with and enjoy. That doesn't mean that doesn't categorize them as okay, they have to be achievers, these people should have to be world leaders so that I can sit with them and enjoy. No, you should always have two or three people with you, just giving random numbers, So you can have two or three people with you whom you can always sit down and share your thoughts and always get a good feedback. And you should also have a certain bunch of people who should be achievers or should be really good in some subject or something, or at least achieved something, so that their point of view is also important. You should know, okay, as a person who understands things very well, as a person who tops in everything or who is an achiever in something, how he or she thinks, how what their thought process is. So you will have mixed opinions, and then you can sit down, write down those points, and get onto a perfect solution for all your problems. A person who is always enjoying will be a bit casual. he or she might give you like, oh come on man, happiness and sadness are just like seasons, they'll come and go. But that's a very ambiguous answer that won't help you. You are telling, I am this in this situation, man, how will I come out of it? These guys will be really casual. Come on, yeah, these are like seasons, you just be calm, be cool, it will pass away. But you are not able to stand this situation. This situation is so demotivating, you're not able to get through it. What should you do? They'll suggest you go party, go to pubs and all that stuff. That will help you externally, but internally you will always have a thought process in which you are stuck. It's a knot which is not getting solved. What you will do? So what you will, at this situation, you will go to a person who is wise, who is serious about life, maybe an achiever. You can sit with them and you can talk and say, okay, so this is what I'm facing with my friend and our ideas are not matching. I'm not sure what to do. We are constantly fighting and I'm not feeling motivated to be with such a person. So that person will give you some wise words. So what you can do, that person will tell you, okay, partying and going to pubs and all the discos and that's okay. But what about sitting down, writing down good points about each other and bad points about each other and trying to know about each other more intuitively? See, by interacting, suppose if I say Raju is my friend, he has been my friend since years, if I say, and suddenly we get into an argument, we suddenly feel scandalized. We feel like, come on, I don't know this person. He has really changed. Since years he was agreeing with me, he was happy with me, he was listening to me. Now he's not agreeing with me. This is wrong. And that will not let you concentrate on the other stuff in life. It will not let you concentrate in communicating well with people. It will not let you concentrate on your office work or your college work. Your other environments will be very hostile for you. You will feel like, no, this has to solve. I don't like this guy arguing with me. Why he's not accepting me, my thoughts? But you have to feel how the other opposite party is having that thought process. You have to feel, you have to see from their point of view. But your casual friends, your party friends won't tell you, hey, come on man, go to him and just think from his perspective. They'll not say like, they'll say, come on man, he will understand, chalo, he will understand with time heals everything, they will say. But if you sit with a wise person, the wise person will say, sit with them and talk about it. So what you will do, you will go to that person. Your solution, I'll tell you how the mixture of solution, opinions will give you a solution. You will go to that person. I'll go to Raju and I'll say, come on Raju, okay, fight is okay, you be angry, but this is important, let us sit down and talk about it. So I'll say, okay, these are my opinions, I was thinking like this, what do you think about it? He will say certain points, then I'll say, okay, all right, so you think about it in that way, this is what I want, so let us do one thing. Your point is okay, let us do in that way, let us see what outcome it gives, let me do my point, what outcome it gives, whose method will give the best outcome, we will try to work on that in future. Or maybe let me take few points from you, let me take few points from myself and add it together and work on a common goal. So now, since you have interacted with each other, see, interaction doesn't mean you always have to physically meet the person. It can be video call or a audio call also. Channels of communication, so you can sit with that person, you can talk to that person sitting, okay, this we have to come on a common goal, this is the common item we can do, chalo fine, now the argument is over, right? Raju will say, yeah fine man, I'm okay with it now you will say, chalo let's go party. So this is where you have taken the casual ideas, you have taken the wise ideas, and in both the ways, in one second, I think someone is not muted, not sure. Okay, so in both, taking both the opinions, the casual opinions and the wise opinion, you have come to one such solution which is really unique and which suits both of you. So solving disputes in relationships or in your interaction with your friend is really important, because outside your all technical or your duties in life, which I'll say duty towards family, your justification towards your work, you have another world which is friendship or your relationships, and that one world you don't want to mingle with. or I would say do something wrong in it, because that will impact all other worlds. So these are the parallel universes which you live in. So that's how we always find some source of motivation from somewhere. So the final conclusion, I would say, the communication, the smart work. Smart work can be in anything, not just your office work, in your college studies as well, or at home maybe. So the communication, the smart work, uh, our relationships, and also about being motivated by family. All these items, all these genres are different. You have to be standing at a certain point wherein you can derive some motivation, maybe from your office work, and apply that motivation into your relationship. Or maybe you can take some motivation from your relationship and apply that motivation. You can charge yourself up to maybe get over some big humongous task, or maybe some challenge in your work profile. So it is always about your positive energies around you, which you can derive from various situations or various aspects of your life, and reapply them somewhere else. What I feel is, in universe, when we say that energy is never destroyed, never created, it's simply transforming. When someone says that, I apply it seriously on my life, stating, I have a friend, I have my friends and relationships somewhere, I have my communication somewhere, I have my smart work somewhere, and I have these gauging myself somewhere. So what I'll do, I'll transfer my positive energy from one quadrant to another, from one world to another, from one genre to another, so that positivity is always revolving around me. If you imagine it that way, there is nothing spiritual in it, there is nothing to visualize as something revolving around you, but it is always about what you feel inside, what your food for soul. Positivity is always, sorry, always food for soul. So with that, I would say, I will accept questions, and I'm feeling really happy to share my thoughts and my experiences. You can ask me anything, I'm open to all questions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Akshay, for joining us this evening and sharing your thoughts and insights with us. So let's quickly take questions from the audience. So we have 4 people online. So Kushal, do you have a question?
Uh, no, my all my answers. I got my all my answers.
Okay. So would you like to share your thoughts or feedback on the session? Uh, Maybe we can utilize your feedback and improvise on our further sessions.
Uh, it was a very good session. Like I got some new perspectives and uh, looking at things.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. So Akshay, I think we are good to go. Uh, Thank you for connecting with everyone. Uh,
Okay, thanks a lot, Raju, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, all this positivity will go in drain if you're not able to talk about your stuff to people. And this opportunity has really given me an opportunity where I can sit with people and share my experience, and make myself being productive. So
Yeah.
this gives me a really good view of myself. So thank you, Raju.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you all. Thank you so much.